So what is art? You can make the case art is really everything's art.
Like the gum you were chewing before the show.
My suit?
In theory, could have
My
been
suit,
art.
Your jacket.
That's not art. Organizers are out to prove anything could be. Opening performances are now behind us, but the next is coming up Friday and Saturday nights.
And Tyler Swain is the director of performing arts at the Apollon.
That's right.
The Apollon.
Thanks,
Well, let's
Nice
talk
to see
about
you.
that. Yeah, good to see you. Let's talk about that. What is the Apollon?
The Apollon is a co-creative arts center. So once a month we put on a unique performance by bringing together visual artists and performance artists. We kind of give them a theme and say, what does this look to you? And then in a very collaborative process, we allow them to develop a performance piece and art centered around that theme that we put on once a month through dinner and kind of a lot of audience participation and interaction.
That's not art. What is this show about?
That's the name of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the Apollon has been open for about a year now, and one of the common critiques that we've received since the space has been open is, well, you know, what you guys do over there, that's entertaining, you know, it's this interactive performance thing, but it's not really art. So we really wanted to challenge the views of what is art? Why are some things considered art while other things aren't? So in this performance, we bring together 3 different artists, myself included as one of them, to represent forms of art that aren't normally considered art. So we have graffiti artists, very accomplished chalk artists from town, and then myself making trash art. And we kind of guide the audience through a conversation about what is art, what isn't art, why are some things considered art, all over dinner.
Let's describe your form of art here. And we're looking at toilet paper rolls. And I was on Pinterest not too long ago, and a use of a toilet paper roll that you could slip it over like wrapping paper. You know what I mean? The wrapping paper rolls to keep it together.
But what you do with it is truly art. You're making figures out of these rolls. So talk to us maybe about the heads and we'll get to work.
Talk to us about the heads.
Well, these are the faces.
I used to run an art department for children, and a big focus of my art department was building things out of garbage and trash. And I started to collect lots of these little toilet paper rolls, and I was trying to find things other than crafts that we could do with them with the kids. So I just started playing with one day just to see what I could make out of it.
I think this is my favorite face.
And I started sculpting these little
he
faces,
cute?
and I kind of became obsessed with it. So I thought a fun thing to try would be to see if I could get you guys to make a face
Look
with
at
me.
this guy.
Well,
Yeah.
your faces are really good.
He has
Thank
a very
you.
strong brow bone.
I don't want to
This one.
intimidate you at all, but each face is kind of unique and it tells a story to me. So I began using the faces to build figures and sculptures.
Do you recommend starting with the nose or the chin, or is there a feature
I like
that
to
makes
start with
most
the
sense
nose,
for
so I
it?
kind of just crease a tube down the middle and then just kind of get my thumb in there to get the nose started. And then you can see as you kind of start to push the piece in, you kind of get this form of a nose, you know, maybe you bend up some nostrils in there. But to me, making, it's all about play, you know, whether you're playing with clay or cardboard or paper.
Yeah.
So I really encourage people just to kind of explore a material or a process and just let themselves go and see what
It's
happens.
almost like the roll decides what it wants to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't control this.
That's one way I feel about it quite a bit. People are always like, well, how much thought do you put into these things ahead of time? Do you know what
Yeah.
you're going to make? And I kind of let the tube itself kind of take its own form and decide what it's going to look like and what it's going to be. And then once I finish that face, I kind of develop a whole figure and a little setting to go with the figure.
After seeing
Where's
yours
the-
and now attempting it, I can see this is not as easy
Where's
as it
the
looks.
nose?
The nose is right here.
I can see a nose
You see
there.
the nose?
You know,
There's
and
the
that's
the
a common
mouth.
critique that I get about my art. I recently
where
did an
mine's
installation
going.
that was just a collection of faces, and people are
mine's
like,
like
well,
a-
that looks so easy.
He
Or
wanted to frown, so I just
So I've
went
got the.
with
So
it.
once you get the face, then what do you do?
Yeah,
once
we
I
gotta-
get the face, then I kind of start exploring other materials. I
Hold
I
on,
look
can
at
we
the
look over
face
here,
and
guys?
That's the finished
Oh,
product.
I know, but
there.
I wanted to show it.
allow it to
not
kind
there
of
yet.
tell me a story, and then I set the figures up in different positions using floral wire for their hands. Because the figures themselves have a floral wire structure, I can bend them and move them.
Oh, I
so I've
see,
begun
yeah.
to explore a little of stop animation and some other processes with them
Yeah.
to kind of further tell the story of the figure and what, you know, this guy is kind of sitting there thinking and reflecting.
So with the wire, you trim the wire to the right lengths and you insert it in the sleeves
Exactly.
of the other toilet paper
We made the little
rolls.
hand, and then here's kind of the finished product. How many of those will you put on display here? Part of this-
Currently at the Apollon, I have, I think, 5 or 6 figures in addition to a few other pieces in the gallery right now. And then during each performance of That's Not Art, I work throughout the course of the performance to construct an entire figure and
This
sculpture.
piece, did you do this today?
I actually did that piece during Saturday's performance.
Okay.
So what it
so
takes
it's
you
not
how
quite
long at
finished
this
yet.
point?
Depending on how in-depth I get with the figure, it takes me about 2 to 3 hours of nonstop working
pretty
to
good, though.
completely finish a figure.
Let's get back to this event. You mentioned dinner earlier.
Yeah.
So in terms of the experience, what should the audience expect out of this?
Exactly. So what we're really trying to put together through this performance is a dialogue or a conversation about art. And that dialogue happens over the course of dinner. So we have this phenomenal actor, his name is Carl Brooks, and he'll be performing at the Playhouse actually next month. But he plays our curator of our gallery in this show, and he kind of directs the audience through this dialogue about what is and what isn't art. And then throughout the dialogue, we have moments where there's dinner service. You know, your first course is served, your main course is served, where the audience can kind of sit around the table and talk about the ideas we're putting out there, as well as engage in art themselves. So like,
Best way to get tickets? I don't want to interrupt you, but I don't want to run out of time either. So what do you say about that?
So you can purchase tickets at our website, apollonomaha.com. Tickets are $30. If you purchase your tickets at least 48 hours in advance, we can do special dietary restrictions and things for the meal as it is catered in.
We got to get going. Are you looking for other artists and performers, though?
Definitely. We put on one unique performance every month, so we are always looking for other artists and performers, whether they're visual artists, actors, directors, playwrights, you name it. And they can contact us through our website. There's a contact us link there, and look at a review of the shows that we have coming up in the next couple of months to see if there's something that they would be interested in participating in.
It's great to have you here.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
guys. I
Omaha.com.
appreciate it.
Thanks for
This
coming.
reminds me of Grouper Face.
Yeah, grouper face. She makes a grouper face. Still ahead. Let's take the shot so people can see it. Still ahead.